A dead man's. His eyes bluer than clear sky.
The American fantasy series Game of Thrones has garnered a cult-like following since it premiered on HBO in 2011. Over the course of the show's 8-season run, fans were amazed as the fictional continents of Westeros and Essos were brought to life. The show has a lot of fantastical events and amazing special effects that are brought to life on screen, and has often been praised for its high production value. Although the show looks great on screen, many fans have wondered what the show looks like to the actors before all of the editing and special effects. Does the world of Game of Thrones look as magical without the CGI? In today's video, we'll be covering the behind-the-scenes CGI of Game of Thrones and see what it really looks like. You don't want to miss this list.
But first, a simple reminder on how to enter our brand new giveaway. We will be giving away either an iPhone X Max, the new iPad mini, or a MacBook Pro. It's all your choice. So be sure to leave a like, comment the keyword, subscribe, and turn on notifications to enter the giveaway. It's really that simple.
Number 1. The secrets behind the dragons. One of the biggest CGI elements of Game of Thrones is definitely the dragons. You might not be able to realize just how different the dragon scenes look while they're being filmed because Emilia Clarke is such an amazing, convincing actress. The majority of the dragons in the show are added using CGI or post-production techniques, meaning there were no dragons present during the production of the show. Instead, they used a combination of tracking dots, green screen, and practical effects to bring the dragons to life. In earlier seasons, this was on a much smaller scale, as Daenerys' dragons were just babies and didn't need much animation to be brought to life. To add the dragons, the crew placed tracking dots on Emilia Clarke's shoulder, which allowed them to digitally add the baby dragons later using CGI. Once the dragons were fully grown in later seasons, the crew had to change up their special effect techniques a bit. In some behind-the-scenes pictures, one can see Emilia Clarke with a strange green fluffy object in her lap. This object is actually supposed to represent the dragon's head. After the scenes are filmed, the editing team replaces a dragon head for the green stand-in using CGI. Pretty neat, right? Number 2. Filming the battle scenes is hard work. Something you may not realize while watching Game of Thrones is that a lot of time and energy goes into filming the battle scenes. In fact, it's one of the most time-consuming elements of filming the show. While some elements of the showdowns are obviously real, like the actors and some of the props, many of the key elements of these scenes are added in post-production. This is demonstrated in the Emmy Award-winning Season 6 battle, Battle of the Bastards. The 22-minute battle scene took about 8 months, 120 editors, 70 horses, and hundreds of actors. Even still, many of the armies and horses that you can see on screen are actually CGI and were added on in post-production. At one point in the scene, Kit Harington had to film in front of a green screen and pretend to fight a bunch of imaginary targets, since the weapons and many of the adversaries in the scene were added using CGI. Overall, the scene turned out incredible and gives the audience a sense that this battle actually happened. In reality, the battle was mostly computer-generated and took months to create. Number 3. The White Walkers are real. Something in Game of Thrones you may have thought was CGI is the White Walkers. When looking at this fantastical zombie army, one assumes that they must be computer-generated with how crazy and unrealistic they look. However, it turns out that the White Walkers were only 1% computer-generated. You heard that right. Actor Ross Mullen, who played a White Walker, recently revealed it all in an interview. "I was bare-chested, wearing a miniskirt. We had a zombie army, as you do, and a styrofoam rock for Sam to hide behind," he said. So if the White Walkers aren't CGI, how did they create them for the show? The White Walkers were actually created mostly by prosthetics. It took 5 hours for a team of 4 makeup artists to create the White Walker look on Mullen's body. So if the majority of the White Walkers look as a practical effect, what part is the 1% CGI? Mullen explained that in his interview, saying, "With the White Walkers, it's 99% prosthetics. Only the steam coming off my body and the blue eyes are CGI." Number 4. The City of Braavos and the Wall of Westeros. A great example of the way Game of Thrones creators combined CGI and practical effects to build a fictional world can be seen in the City of Braavos and Wall of Westeros. In creating the landscapes for Braavos and the surrounding lands, some elements were definitely added in using CGI. However, many of the landscapes and locations included in Braavos are actual places that you could visit in real life. For example, the landscape revealed to be the area behind the wall in Season 3 was not computer-generated at all. It is actually a shot of the world's largest glacier, located in Iceland. Additionally, many of the scenes of the fictional city of Braavos were filmed in a city called Šibenik, Croatia. That's right, the scenes where Arya Stark is exploring the streets of Braavos were actually filmed on location in Croatia. Some aspects of the show's landscapes were obviously computer-generated, like some of the castles or the Wall of Westeros, which was based on the real-life Hadrian's Wall but ended up being digitally added. However, it's still amazing to think that many of the fantastic-looking locations from Game of Thrones are places you could actually visit in real life. Number 5. Horseback riding skills required. Another thing you might not know about Game of Thrones is that all of the horseback riding scenes on the show are real. In fact, many of the actors from the show say they were asked whether or not they could ride horses at their audition. Horses are such an important part of the show, they even have an on-set horse master Camilla Nopros. When she was asked what her favorite scene involving horses on the show was, she said that the Emmy Award-winning episode Battle of the Bastards can't be beat. That was the first real time we could bring 100 horses out and really just go to town, she told the LA Times. It was incredible working with Kit because he's so great on a horse. Being able to have a real actor on the horse galloping toward the army was exciting. I hate watching scenes with doubles. As for the actors, some of them are definitely more suited to horseback riding than others. As Camilla said, Kit Harington, who plays Jon Snow, is very fond of horseback riding, as is Nikolai Coster-Waldau, who plays Jaime Lannister. Kit and Nikolai, they always ask about their horses and by their name, Camilla said in an interview. As for the actors who aren't the biggest fans of horseback riding, Emilia Clarke tops the list. Emilia admitted in an interview that she cried after falling off a horse during her very first day on set. Yeesh. Hopefully, Emilia was able to warm up to the horses over the course of filming the next 8 seasons. Number 6. Ghost and his stand-in. One of the most beloved CGI elements of the show is Ghost, a direwolf raised by Jon Snow. Ghost is a character that's present throughout much of the show, as he starts out as a puppy in season 1 and remains present throughout all 8 seasons of the show. Since Ghost is a fictional type of wolf, it was pretty out of the question to bring a trained wolf to portray Ghost on the show. Instead, the producers opted to add Ghost in as a CGI element. To help the actors in the scenes that involve Ghost, the crew developed a stand-in for the character. That way, the stand-in can be placed on Ghost's mark for the scene, and the actors know where to look if their character is supposed to be interacting with Ghost. This worked pretty well, and the scenes with Ghost in them all turned out great. But fans were pretty surprised when a behind-the-scenes clip from Season 8 revealed what Ghost's stand-in looks like. Some fans were disappointed, saying they thought Ghost had been portrayed by a real animal this whole time. For most fans, they just found the appearance of the stand-in hilarious. In contrast to the fierce character of Ghost, who survives many battles on the show, Ghost's stand-in is just a giant stuffed white dog. Number 7. Green screens. The most common way that Game of Thrones employs CGI and special effects is through the use of good old-fashioned green screens. Even when the show is filming on location, green screens are used to alter the landscape to create the fictional world from the show. This means that while the field or landscape that the cast filmed on might have been real, green screens are usually used to add in castles, structures, and other Braavos or Westeros-inspired scenery. Additionally, green screens are used when filming scenes with dragons or other fantastical creatures. For example, in Episode 3, a giant storms Winterfell. Of course, the actor who plays the giant, Ian White, is not that size in real life. As a result, they had to film all of his scenes in front of a green screen and angle the camera upward to make him look as big as a giant. For the scene where the giant picks up Lyanna, the crew had Ian White pick up a doll covered in tracking dots in front of the green screen. Later, in post-production, the editors replaced the doll with the actual Lyanna. And with that, we wrap up this video. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on the channel.